Hey, it's Aurora with Lavender Hazelwood. Uh, I know it's been a little quiet over here. My cat was very sick and was in the midst of passing away, and I had known this for some time, but he got to the end and did pass a couple weeks ago, 3 weeks ago now, maybe. And I've just not had a ton of motivation to communicate or interact a whole lot. So I'm gonna do a video, a sort of memorial video, and I've started working on it, but it's not ready, and I think it might take me some time to do it. But I wanted to talk a little bit about, so I have this medicine, it's called a medicine place, that I go to when I meditate and astral travel. In my medicine place are a wolf and a bear who are protectors, but also who's there are all of my past companion animals. And I meditated there, or I went there before Snick passed, I don't know, a week, 2 weeks, I don't remember, sometime before Snick passed. And when I visited there, he was already there. And I found that super interesting because he'd never been there before. And the energy of all of the companion of my past companion animals was like super heightened. They were all really like enthralled and excited. And I think part of it, I guess, was maybe that there was something new, like he was with them, but it felt more like they were excited for a bigger accomplishment than him just passing over, but more like he represented movement forward. His passing was a movement forward and an accomplishment, but it wasn't just for him, it was for a bigger whole or something. That's the best I could do in terms of getting the feeling, putting words to the feeling and the message right. I'm sure there was more in there that I don't have the words to say at this point, because the way that you speak with your spirit guides or anyone is not through language necessarily, but through symbols and feelings. At least that's been my experience. So the energy was super high, and my energy going in there was like, boom, it was super big and had a lot of power behind it, and it was super positive. And it's so interesting, like, having that kind of experience there, which I get is connected to the higher self or the soul self or the spiritual self, versus when you're on the earth plane dealing with the ego, because my ego is having a very different experience of his passing. And I know that, like, there's a lot of things in my life that I will be able to do without having to care for him, like in hospice or in, assisted living situation. But my ego still has a hard time being okay with that. As you can tell, I'm crying, right? What I'm trying to share with you is that I had this kind of amazing experience there before he passed. He was ready to go, I guess. He was already gone in some ways. And it was one that was very different than any of my other experiences visiting my medicine place. And I'm still looking for tools and ways to kind of go in and understand it better. So if you have any ideas or thoughts about your own meditations or your own astral travel experiences and how you communicate or interpret information that you get, I'd love to hear about it in the comments below. And and see if there's anything I can learn to go deeper into my own travels. Yeah. I miss Snick a lot. I do. He was my soulmate. But I'm also, there's a part of me that's looking forward to creating new things in my life as well. I wish he could be with me to do them, but physically. But I have his fur, I have his remains to call on when I want to connect, and that's helpful in some way. Anyway, I'm going to leave it here because that's all. This is one of my favorite things to do. Curl up with Snick in my happy coat, because the happy coat makes us both happy. He loves to cuddle, sleep against me. I love it when he does that. He's my love.